I mainly focus on sexual pleasure and female orgasm and squirting rather than sex, because everyone can have sex. It doesn't take. It's not difficult to have sex, but in terms of how to facilitate environment.
Squirt guru, you know. You know
No, because
that was your calling in life. That's just the path you chose.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear it.
No, we need to get into how we got here.
Let's talk about it, because squirting, right? So obviously in the West, there's a lot of shame and stigma towards squirting, where it's seen as, urine and like people kind of say that it doesn't exist.
50% pee.
I'm coming to. Whereas in parts of the world, like in Rwanda and East Central Africa, it's normalized, where it's expected for a woman to squirt.
Okay.
So like that's where the whole Kunyaza tradition came from. That you're not a man unless your woman squirts in the bedroom, like your wife squirts. So it's a total different mindset kind of thing. So and also the reason why a lot of women don't get to that point where they gush fluid is because they don't allow themselves to. So if you're raised in a culture where you're shamed about squirting or female ejaculating, however you want to call it, you're not going to allow yourself to get there.
Preaching it. I've been telling the guy. I've been telling
the So if a woman
let yourself go, Rugo.
If a woman really doesn't,
man. You know what? Good guess, man. This guy.
Sex.
Talk up the things. Talk up the things. So, Esther, don't look at me like that.
I have nothing to say to you. That's not a damn thing.
So I don't believe that all women can squirt.
You don't believe so?
No. And I fully believe that the ones who decide that they don't want to pee on you, it shouldn't be deemed as they're holding back pleasure.
How many gal have you made squirt before?
I have not experienced this particular matter. I'm actually teeing it up for somebody. Hopefully they call in. No experience.
What I would say is someone cannot believe it, and that's fine. And I didn't say, and like I said, I don't believe in like the squirting imperative. Like you have to squirt. If a woman, but what I'm saying is there are many women who can squirt, and any man who's been with a woman or women who has squirted will know that it doesn't smell, look, or taste like pee.
Serious?
Yes. So if you know, you know. If you don't know, then you don't know.
I actually don't know. You're right. Marx and Yusuf, and obviously Emmanuel, right? When you've made your women squirt, did it smell like pee?
No.
Cool. All the time?
Never.
Never?
I've seen some bitches be faking.
As in fake squirting? Which it's pee. What do you mean, fake squirting?
They just be faking. I think society, porn and stuff, and their expectations and feeling that they need to be able to do it has put a lot of pressure on some of these females. And some of them be faking.
No, but what do you mean by faking?
Pissing and shit.
Oh, pissing.
But you know the whole. Obviously, you kind of mentioned how there hasn't been certain studies done yet, right? But like Esther said, you sometimes get varying views that there's this percentage of pee, right?
So,
right.
Right.
So would that percentage vary from woman to woman, and also would it be down to like other things as well, like that could affect that? Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So the studies, when you actually look at it, so there's one of the studies said that it's diluted urine.
Okay.
So they said that it's predominantly urine, but there's some traces of fluid which is not urine.
Okay.
Others have said that, and the reason why they've said that is because, and then others have said that there's a difference between squirting fluid and female ejaculation fluid. So where they say that female ejaculation is when a woman expels a small amount of fluid from the urethra, or they say from the female prostate, which is so you've got the urethra, the pee hole, it's the glands.
Okay.
And they say it's more thick in substance. And they say that's true ejaculate, or that's true ejaculation. Where they say that squirting is a large gush of fluid, which is like water-like, which is like urine. And then some say it's either like urine, or they say it is urine.
Okay.
But even the studies that said, like you mentioned about the 50%, where it says diluted urine, it's got some traces of PSA, which is the same substance which is in female ejaculate. And my issue is that we don't say when a man has pre-cum or ejaculate, we don't question that. But for some reason, with women's sexual experiences or women's fluids, everything is questioned.
Yeah.
Is it a different type of orgasm than the other?
No, squirting is a different sensation from orgasm. An orgasm is not squirting. So, or female ejaculation, an orgasm.
Oh, so the squirting stuff, does it bring pleasure?
No, an orgasm, or whether you want to call it sexual climax, that's like the height of pleasure, right? But you can squirt or ejaculate without having an orgasm, or vice versa. So they're not the same. So people use like think squirt is a type of orgasm. It's a different sensation to orgasm. So you can orgasm without squirting, and likewise you can squirt without having an orgasm.
And what does the squirting feel like?
Again, it varies from woman to woman. But some women, it feels like they say it's like a superpower. It's like they feel like they're in heaven. Some women feel like it's just a release. Some
So
women
it could
feel
be even more
ashamed.
euphoric than a normal orgasm.
It can be, but again, it depends on how you feel. Like if, for example, you've been conditioned to feel that to believe that this is urine, and you're with a partner, and he's like, "Oh, what have you done to me? You're pissing on me." All of a sudden, that feeling of euphoria is going to feel like a sense, like she feels ashamed of herself. So it depends on the person. So like, the same way, if you were to ask a guy, "How does it feel when you bust a nut?" It's going to vary from guy to guy. And it depends, obviously, in his vocabulary in terms of what he uses. So I wouldn't say that everyone has a different experience in terms of like squirting or ejaculating.
I might have missed it, but
Makes sense.
can you give us a step by step of what Kunyaza is and how to perform it?
Yeah, what's in the book, man?
You know
Right.
you missed that.
that's-
You haven't said it yet.
No, I was.
Because you said you do demonstrations.
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff.
I brought props.
Oh shit! Got the flashlight thing.
Yeah, so I
We got the pocket pussy with him.
That's can't take you nowhere. You said on stats, yeah?
okay, very
Can you
quickly.
pass that
So
one?
you've
Sorry.
got,
All right, live demonstration. What is Kunyaza?
So I need
obviously, I'm not going to
make
do
sure-
the demonstration in terms of the sex positions because there's different sex positions. But essentially,
Alright, you can see
Brent.
yourself on the screen, yeah. So
okay,
yeah,
good.
position it so that.
So essentially, you've obviously got the female anatomy here. Obviously, you've got the labia minor, which is obviously the inner lips, the inner vulvar lips, the labia major, which is obviously the outer lips, and then you've got the prepuce or the clitoral gland, which is obviously excess skin that covers the clitoris. Obviously, some women don't have a clitoral gland because maybe they've been circumcised or what have you. And then obviously you've got the clitoral gland, which is known obviously as a clitoris. Now the whole idea is obviously when a woman's good and ready, obviously you've done the necessary psychological preparing, so she's ready for Kunyaza. But essentially you're doing the tapping technique like this.
Tap tap tap.
The stick is
Tap,
the
tap,
penis,
tap.
right?
Yeah, the stick is the penis.
Alright, cool. And the thing that you're holding is the balls.
No, this is actually a massage balm.
Okay.
And this is obviously another thing that men should get if you want to, before you've sticking it in. So this is,
That's a stick of it.
yeah, so this is, so you perform Kunyaza like this.
Tap,
You
tap,
can
tap,
do it.
yes.
Tap, tap, tap. You can, and the whole idea is obviously you're enticing the woman. And again, it's just understanding, and especially obviously for men, it's enticing because obviously you're using the penis heads. So obviously you're going to be titillated by it, but the same, so you're going to get some pleasure by it, but also at the same time, the woman is as well. Now, again, the reason why it's good and it's better than intercourse for many women is because most women don't climax by intercourse, like I mentioned earlier. And because you're doing it like this and you're pressing hard, you can even write your name if you wanted to. Just
Serious.
But the whole idea is you're internally stimulating the clitoris. So I just want to kind of show the clitoris as well, so people are kind of aware. Because again, some people don't know the anatomy, unfortunately.
People in the chat, remember I was telling you lot to bring notepads, yeah?
So
Right.
I got this made by a lady in Germany, and I wanted her to prepare.
Wait, is that her mold?
brown. No, it's not her mold. Well, no,
I was gonna say, what made you pick her? What made you?
No,
what made you go with that verse?
no, it's not her mold. I'm not
Wait,
saying
how
it's
do you
not-
know it's not her mold?
I don't know. Actually, you're right. I don't know whose mold it is. Put it
Big
that
up the
way.
lady from
Yeah.
Germany, yeah. Just-
But I intentionally wanted it to be of like a dark skin tone because if you look at a lot of the demonstrations and stuff, even when I was writing my first book, I couldn't find like a black or dark brown skin tone to represent a black woman kind of thing. So again, here obviously you've got the more real life like anatomy. The reason why I like this version as opposed to this is because it looks somewhat
Playish.
perfect looking,
Okay.
as in it's symmetrical. When most women's lips doesn't look like this, and it's perfectly fine. So obviously we know that most women obviously it's asymmetrical, the lips, and obviously you've got the clitoral glands here, but the actual clitoris is this big. I don't know if you can see that. It's actually it's far bigger than the nub. So the actual nub is just a clitoral gland in and of itself. So even if a woman, and I'm not endorsing female genital cutting or anything like that, but even if a woman has been circumcised or experienced FGM, she can still experience pleasure because the internal clitoris still remains intact. So when you're stimulating the clitoris or stimulating the vulva here or the inner lips, you're indirectly stimulating the clitoris because the clitoris sits behind here. So this is, again, it's all part of understanding the body. And again, even if you were to ask a woman how she, generally how most women masturbate, they'll masturbate externally. They don't masturbate internally. But obviously, when we're young, especially when you're first getting into sexual activity with a woman, when you're fingering, you're just thinking about inserting, and that is not really going to help a woman get to pleasure. So likewise, like intercourse, even if you're lasting 45 minutes just humping away, yeah, it might be good for you and you might find it enjoyable, but a lot of women don't climax that way because most of them, they need clitoral stimulation, like I said. So if you're like, just understand it from a biological perspective, if you're going like this, you're only indirectly stimulating the bulbs of the clitoris. And that's not going to be as much pleasure if you were like pressing and stimulating against like external clitoris, which is indirectly stimulating the clitoral legs. It's gone all quiet all of a sudden.
I thought you were about to ask something.
Yeah, I want to dive in a bit. Can you imagine?
While we do that, Christy, Super Chat, $9.99. Big up Habeeb, man. Like the video, please.
Which is well for Super Chat.
Where? Where is it? Where?
He just gave money. He didn't leave a message.
Oh, I didn't see it, sorry.
He's enjoying the conversation.
Rich is taking notes. He don't even need none, but he's taking more notes. Rich, you're going to learn. You're going to learn something today. Huh?
How do you know he doesn't need notes?
Because I've seen him in action. I told you so already.
Oh, yeah, you have.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
I didn't want to remind
So what's the difference between Kunyaza performing with the penis as opposed to giving oral sex? Because you could do those same movements, right? Yeah. Roundabout with your mouth anyway. So
Thanks, yeah.
what's the difference? Is it the actual tapping and that, or yeah?
Yeah,
Well,
good
that's
question.
a slap on the back.
No, just anything goes.
No, it's
You gotta be more gentle than
I
that.
know. I was just doing anything just to demonstrate what I mean.
yeah. The tapping can be gentle, can be firm. Again, it's not one particular way.
So it has to be that tapping sensation.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be, but
Yeah.
it's a combination of tapping,
Yeah.
striking, and light, gentle rubbing and pressing.
Okay.
But again, it varies. It's like someone asking, "How do I dance?"
Yeah.
and someone saying, "Confining you to two-step." It
Yeah.
doesn't have to just be two-step.
Yeah.
It's up to you, kind of thing. So likewise, with the whole idea is not that you have to just tap or
Yeah.
you have to strike. And when I mean strike, I don't mean like in a violent way.
Yeah.
Or you have to press and rub.
Yeah.
But it's telling you that focus on stimulating the external anatomy kind of
Yeah.
thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's not, and then coming to your question about like how does it differ to oral sex? It differs because oral sex you're obviously using your mouth, but you can still perform the
Yeah.
same.
But what I mean is you're performing the same action
Yeah,
with a different part of your body.
Yeah, the same way you can
So
do it.
if you tapped or applied that same pressure with your tongue during oral sex, it's the same as...
Yes, it's the same. The same way
Yeah.
you can use your hand, your finger.
Yeah.
But the difference, obviously, with Kunyaza is because it's bringing both the man and the woman together.
Okay.
Because if you're performing oral sex, I love oral sex, but some people don't like oral sex.
Yeah, I get you
right?
though.
So if you don't like it, especially as a man, you're doing all of this to please.
Yeah,
your
with
missus.
this is...
Whereas with Kunyaza, you're
combination.
getting something. And that's why I think it's good.
combination.
Yeah, it's a combination. So both people hopefully will go.
So someone has asked,
You guys know it.
they love how it is you communicate. They love the language that you're using to describe and explain all of this. They would like to know if it is that your book is an audible.
No, it's not. I don't really have
It's not tricky.
What they're
Yeah,
saying is that they
probably,
need to hear you reading the book.
No, I don't. Yeah, to be honest, I don't really like talking too much. And because I don't want to be like the face of squirting or face of Kunyaza and stuff like that.
This is too late.
Like, the face of squirting is wild.
So like, I like, and that's what I preferred, and I wanted to document, and that's another reason why I wrote the book, was because when I came across this practice, I saw some articles and stuff written about it, but I didn't see any book in English. There was a book in French, a book in German, and I thought, okay, it'd be good to kind of preserve the heritage, because like we were speaking earlier, we don't know much about African cultures, but they're different African cultures, but a lot of our cultures are preserved orally. So because if you're not from that neck of the woods, so to speak, you might not have heard about it, and you might think, oh, in Africa we don't have anything, but we've got a lot of things. And that's a kind of I wanted to kind of bring to light that it's not just Kunyaza. We've got Kayana, like I mentioned earlier. We've got Kuzomba, which is obviously essential dance, and again that's kind of been co-opted by the West, where it's essential dance that a man can dance with his wife, his girlfriend, or even his mother. But how it's been co-opted in the West is just like it's a sexy dance. That's like another example of like, if we don't, as black people, kind of document our own culture or heritage and history, someone's going to do it for us. And again, they're always going to be looking at it from, oh, this is like interesting, and not really going to understand and respect it, kind of thing. So, but no, I haven't done an audio book, and I've got no plans to come.
Just to clarify, what's your book called? For people?
Kunyaza, The Secret to Female Pleasure.